Welcome to the Game News Show, the weekly news show where we talk about game news. This week, we're talking about the Nintendo Direct that will happen later today if you're watching on YouTube tomorrow. Overwatch news, Apex Legends news. It's been a while since we talked about that. Let's just jump into all the things. All right, so some smaller stories that we've got to cover first that I only cover because I'm interested in is Sonic Colors Ultimate Shadow dropped on Steam, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's a fun game. I got it on the Xbox Series X, and I loved it. My kid loves it. Fantastic title. It's at a 30% discount right at launch. It's worth picking up. It's a fun game. Love the play style. The Wisps, they're okay. I think the overall level design was fun. And then just Ultimate added some stuff that I thought was kind of cool. But then on top of that, there's a huge other big Sonic sale on Steam, but also on Newegg, which is kind of weird. The only thing I'd say is pick up Sonic Mania on Steam for mod support, because there's some insane mods that are really cool and worth checking out. So with that, let's get into the other actual news stories that people will care about. Nintendo Direct happening tomorrow, February 8th, 2023 in the afternoon. We'll be live reacting to it on this channel, so be ready wherever you're at. If you want to watch it with me. It'll be fun. Here's some quick predictions for that. Probably Tears of the Kingdom. We might get a trailer. Hopefully the game's not delayed. They'll probably talk about Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Advance Wars may actually get a release. And here's my wish list. And we'll talk about this tomorrow, pre-show. I'm really hoping we get some Metroid news. Metroid Prime Remake, Metroid Prime Trilogy, something. But nothing's confirmed. They're talking about the first half of this year. So I don't think there's gonna be a ton of games in it that we don't already know about, but I'm hoping for some good surprises. At least a one more thing kind of reveal. I'd like to know where Metroid Prime 4 is in the pipeline. And then, yeah, and we'll see. I'm excited for it. I'm just not sure what first party showings they're gonna have. Maybe we'll have some good third party stuff. Anyway, let's move down the line. Overwatch 2 Season 3 was revealed. The trailer was awesome. It looks like Blizzard has been listening to the feedback. We've got a ton of events coming with free skins and things. There's going to be a Valentine's event. They're bringing back the Pachymari event where you can get the Roadhog Pachymari skin, which is an awesome skin. They revealed a bunch of new Twitch drops. They're reworking some stuff with Ranked. A lot of buffs and nerfs for nearly every character that is in the meta right now. So I would go look up the notes that have already been revealed and talked about. There's a lot coming with this update, and it just feels like such a huge, important update. My favorite thing from it, though, is if you look at this, we'll make it a little bigger. One Punch Man crossover event where you get Doomfist gets a One Punch Man skin, and I couldn't have asked for a cooler way to introduce third-party collabs. If you guys remember a few months ago when Overwatch 2 was about to come out, one of the devs or leads or somebody, I remember talking about it on this show, wanted to do some anime and other property crossovers, and so now we have the first one of those. And what better way? I mean, Doomfist is One Punch Man in the Overwatch universe, so super cool. I'm really excited to see that this is happening because it's too perfect. It's too good. With the Valentine's event, there's a sweet Cupid Hanzo skin coming with an epic shot from the trailer that is just making its rounds on the internet as a meme in and of itself. I'm hoping to see other crossovers like this in future seasons. And then with this one, it'd be really cool if they were like, hey, surprise, here's some other One Punch Man skins for other characters, just, as like a, hey, we wanted to show you Doomfist first, but here's the rest of the stuff. I think at least one or two more would be cool. But this is great. I'm excited to see, if it's just a skin you buy in the store, hey, Fortnite does it with all the DBZ and Halo and every other crossover. If it's a free event tier where you just got to do some challenges as Doomfist, well, I might get good at Doomfist. Or at least just do good enough to complete the challenges. But anyway, that does it for Overwatch news. Super cool, super excited. Season 3 looks to be like the season to jump in on. Lots of changes and lots of improvements that benefit the players. All right, so if you've kept up with all of the services that you should subscribe to or that companies want you to subscribe to, Ubisoft Plus has been kind of quiet. It's been on PC. It's rumored to be coming to Xbox at any point. Windows Central had a decent article talking about this. Ubisoft Plus is basically EA Play, but with Ubisoft games. There's a bunch of listings and things that point to this coming sooner rather than later. Specifically, badging on the titles that are in Ubisoft Plus, very similar to how if you have a game with Game Pass, it'll have the Game Pass like badge on the cover art when you pull up the game. There's a EA Play one. There's a Game Pass one. I think there's a Games with Gold one. And then now that's been spotted is the Ubisoft Plus one. And so, yeah, it's probably coming. There's like 60 or so games that have been tagged already. My big question is, will this come to Game Pass in the same way that EA Play has? I believe so. At some point, maybe not at launch, but at some point. I mean, it could come to Game Pass. Right now, EA Play is part of Game Pass Ultimate, and it's awesome because it's just more games you get to play. And I could see Ubisoft partnering up with Xbox to do the same thing. You just get to enjoy it that way. And I'll be honest, Assassin's Creed games go on sale so much that this would be the perfect way to just play them all. I usually wait till they're like $20 and then I buy them. And I'm still like, I don't know, 10 games behind in the series. But it looks like a cool service. If it means you can get, whatever games you like by Ubisoft for cheaper or part of Game Pass, then go for it. I think it'll be a great service. All right, let's talk about a game I haven't talked about in a very long time. I think it's been over a year since I last played, not counting last night, Apex Legends. Season 16 was announced. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because, one, it's the 4th anniversary. The game is really good. I still maintain that no game plays like Apex plays. And it's very true. Last week, we talked about Apex Mobile being shut down. And so with Season 16 coming out, I was kind of like, okay, another season. But here's the kicker. They're adding Team Deathmatch in a rotation called Mixtape, where every 2 weeks, they'll rotate out one of 3 modes so far, where you get Team Deathmatch, Control, and Gun Run, which were all very fun modes in Apex. So that's way better than just having Control was only a limited time event. No, make it part of a rotation of just fun game types to hop into. Perfect. Love it. Now, unfortunately, they're sunsetting arenas. I guess people just weren't playing it enough. I bounced into arenas to learn how to use a hero or learn how to use a gun. And then I would bounce back to BR because it was one faster and that's where more people were. And a lot less trolls playing the BR mode. I would get into a lot of games of arenas where people be AFK or just go and do something real dumb and die really fast. Let's see. There's a lot in my notes here. There's no new legend being released this season, but they are reworking a few people and they're reorganizing characters into classes with class-specific perks for each one of the classes. It looks to line up with the little icon that most of the characters have on them. So, yeah, it makes sense to kind of reorganize it, especially as that list grows. I believe Overwatch did the same thing. Just as they added characters, they split the heroes out. Apex is kind of doing the same thing, where they're reworking, how these characters are organized to be able to track them a little better. They also announced a new weapon, a couple of other smaller changes to training area. It lets you play against bot movement, which used to you'd have to do through this complicated sequence of movement and button presses that, to do it took too long. Now you'll just be able to switch it on in an option menu somewhere. And one thing I think is really neat, if you're brand new to the game, you'll get to play against bots in your first 10, 15 matches. I didn't see how long it was, but it makes sense to get new players acclimated to how the BR plays without having to play high skill players or just Smurf players who are better than you. So honestly, I'm going to jump back into the game and see what I've missed. I did play one match kind of late last night, and honestly, it was like riding a bike. I was on a new map, so I got kind of lost with where stuff was, but that wasn't a big deal because it just, I did well enough for having not played in, like I said, about a year. And so the game's pretty fun. I don't know if I'll stream it again, but I know that just playing it kind of off stream every now and then, I'll probably do that. If anybody wants to play, hop on with friends, but I don't think I'll make it a main focus of content like I did a few years ago or a year ago. Anyway, huge update. Apex looks to be getting a lot better. Hopefully it doesn't get shut down like the mobile version did. All right, let's go on to some Xbox console news. I like emulators. I think they're really fun. I like when new stuff happens with emulation. And Xbox Series S and X have been unofficial emulation machines for a while, thanks to the dev mode. People have been packaging different emulators to run. Recently, we got Dolphin, the GameCube and Wii emulator, running very well on the Xbox Series S and X. And then just recently, Xenia, the Xbox 360 emulator, running on the S and X. Unofficially, again, you have to, have the dev mode access, which you can get. Anybody can go get that. You can load what's known as Windows apps, essentially UWP apps. You just install it, launch the game, have your, backed up games on a flash drive or portable drive, and it'll just boot right up. All of those. If you keep up with Modern Vintage Gamer or MVG, huge emulation coverage on his channel, lots of cool dev stories. Love MVG's channel. He's talked a lot about these two emulators in depth. I'm tempted to check out the dev mode now because Dolphin, running GameCube games without having to dig out the Wii U or the GameCube to make it happen is very appealing. And then for Xenia, you'll be able to run Xbox 360 games that aren't in the backwards compatible program. And then even the ones that are, there's a lot about to be delisted. And so if you have a way to back up your 360 games that aren't going to be available, or you go ahead and buy them, you can just back them up and run them through this emulator and it'll probably run a lot better. The delisting really doesn't apply to the game not running on the Xbox anymore, but it just kind of stinks that those games won't be available at all. So if you miss your chance, you have to get creative. I'm not telling you what to do, but you'll have to get creative on how to play those games. Also with Xenia, I can't wait to see what people experiment with games that haven't been a part of the Xbox backwards compatibility program. Specifically, personally, Sonic 06. I just want to see how it runs. I just want to see how it runs on Xbox Series X hardware at a increased frame rate, maybe an increased resolution, and running off of that SSD. If it loads faster, it might be worth streaming. Let me figure out if I can get dev mode working, and if it's not too complicated to get set up, we might go that route for a meme stream. All right, and then the last news that was kind of last minute added, so I don't have all of the details that I would like, but a new mode or new playlist and new event was added for Halo Infinite. We've been playing Halo Infinite on stream a little more, having fun. It's such a fun game. People dunk on it because the content or whatever, but Halo Infinite is a fun game. And they just announced this community content featured playlist or community focus. I really don't know. I added it like literally as I started streaming. It's got a bunch of Forge maps with some modes and it looks fun. But they also added a 10-tier event pass event thing with some reach armors, which is great. More unlockables for free. Definitely should check those out. But yeah, so I think that's cool. I can't figure out why 343 with Infinite loves the Halo Reach armor sets so much when you could just make some new ones that, I don't know, are more appealing. But I guess that's just an opinion that really doesn't matter. I just think that they keep going back to Halo Reach stuff specifically, and it's weird to me. But maybe once Season 3 launches in a couple of weeks, we'll get like a focus on like newer armor, like stuff we haven't seen before. Armors, that would be great. But yeah, it's cool. Free armor, free unlocks. Definitely worth checking out. The event looks fun. The modes look fun. And honestly, I've proven that half of these things you can complete in a couple hours of streaming. So if you play Halo Infinite at all and want help completing them, just hop in the Discord, shoot me a DM. Let me know. We'll play together and we'll get you caught up. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's Game News Show. Thanks for hanging out. If you're watching on YouTube, the not live version, because remember, we're live on YouTube and Twitch right now. the not live version. Thanks for checking out the video. Please consider subscribing, liking the video, and in the comments, let me know if you're going to check out Apex Legends or if you never stopped playing. I know I stopped. And then, you know, if you're watching live, we're about to play Pokemon Unite. So thanks for checking out the stream.